Okay, for number 24, our last multiple choice question, the last question in part 1. We have what we were referencing earlier with sequences. In this case, it's not explicit. It says if f of 1 equals 3, so what does that mean? The first term is 3 in the sequence. And f of n equals negative 2 times f of n minus 1 plus 1, then what is f of 5? In other words, they want to know what's the fifth term. So this is like kind of a combination of a few different rules here. I guess the best way of thinking of it is recursive. In other words, if we want to find f of 5, we can't just find 5 directly. I can't just plug in a 5 somewhere and get some type of output. This relationship is very important. It says f of 1, and over here it says f of n minus 1. What does that mean? It means if you want to find any given term, you have to use the term directly before it. So if n was 10, if you were finding the 10th term, you actually have to use the 9th term in your formula. So the bad news for us, if we want to find the 5th term, we have to find the 4th term. And you can see where this is going. If we have to find the 4th term, we have to find the 3rd, and so forth. So we're going to start with the 1st. Luckily, they didn't ask us to find like the 99th term here. And the first term, we have to be given the first term because we have to know where to start from. The first term is 3. So if I want to find the second term, and I'm kind of copying the formula now, n is representing 2. My formula says negative 2 times the term before it. So what was the term before the second term? It was f of 1, which had a value of 3. So I'm plugging in a 3 where f of n minus 1 should go, plus 1. If I do the math there, it's going to be negative 6 plus 1, which equals negative 5. Okay, so that's the second term, one step. Now I'm going to do f of 3. So again, I'm copying down the formula. What was the value of the term before the third term? Negative 5. We just found that. So I'm going to plug in a negative 5 here. And again, you keep plugging in kind of what you found before. Make sure everything else is exactly the same. Negative 2 and the plus 1. So now you're going to get negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10 plus 1 is 11. Now for the fourth term, again, copy down the formula, plug in what you just found, the previous term. So if I'm finding the fourth term, the previous one was the third term. The third term was equal to 11. Negative 2 times 11 is negative 22. Plus 1 equals negative 21. And last but not least, the one we're really concerned with, the only thing we actually want to find, f of 5. So that's going to be negative 2 times negative 21 plus 1. And again, we have to plug in the term before it. That's kind of what we were doing here. You should notice a pattern. You're plugging in the term right before it. Negative 2 times negative 21 is positive 42. Negative times a negative. Plus 1. 42 plus 1 gives us our final answer of 43. Okay, unfortunately, and you can see the correct answer is choice 4, 43. Unfortunately, there's not many other ways to do this. There's not some like one move type formula where you could just find f of 5. You do have to, that's why I said it's kind of related to a recursive sequence. You have to find each component to get to the one you need. So even though it's simple arithmetic, you want to make sure you're setting everything up correctly here, which you could see, which I did, kind of labeling it and showing how you're plugging in to each term. Okay, thank you for watching, and hopefully this helped.